Well, hello. Back again with another one for ya. Yes. Welcome to the Spit It Out podcast, the podcast of what you've been thinking but haven't actually been hearing. It is your host, Jayson Yessir, here in the Spit It Out studios. Back on another Wednesday or whenever you listen to this, actually. But if you guys didn't know and you're just tuning in or you just came across recently, all episodes are released on Wednesdays. And then obviously you could listen to it at any other time. But in case you wanted to ever know when a new episode drops, that would be on a Wednesday. Also, don't forget youtube.com/Jayson Yessir for the first 20 minutes of every episode. And you can see me. Like as of today, I am sporting this gay of me celebrating the Pride Month here. Sporting this mesh top that I've had. I think this is actually American Apparel, and American Apparel was a thing. I don't think American Apparel is a thing anymore. Never even owned really any of their clothing except for this one piece, and I didn't even get it at American Apparel. I think I got it from like Burlington type of TJ Maxx, something like that, or Marshalls. I don't know, one of those places, second hand-me-down stores, if you would. I guess they kind of are, right? Like you would hear, a hand-me-down store or whatever, but it's basically like what department stores can't sell, so then they hand it off to those type of stores. You got your Burlingtons, your TJ Maxx and Marshalls, the Rosses. So yeah, I guess it's like a second, not like the Goodwill, but a little classier, a little higher up, if you would. No, but anyways, as I'm sporting this black shirt, it's a mesh. I'm not wearing anything underneath so you can see my nipples and all, okay? But I feel like whenever you see in a show, a movie, or whatever, and they like a stereotypical gay boy that they would show, would be wearing like, especially like in the 80s or something, if you was to watch an old flashback movie or something, you'll see them in like this type of wear, backwards hat, big shit. No, I'm just joking. Well, no, actually, this is actually everything I'm wearing. I feel like is what they would typecast someone in a movie if they were playing like they needed a stereotypical gay person. Whatever. I don't know. What am I talking about? Stereotypes. Exactly. Why are there stereotypes? Why do we have them? No, it's just a part of life, I guess. The stereotypes obviously could lead into other thing. I think people get confused with like stereotypes and being like prejudiced and racist and like all those different avenues. But they all have similarities in common. Where am I going with this episode? Let's get back on track for you guys. So, like I was saying, you can see what I am wearing as of now. But I was like, yeah, let me just put this on. I also wanted to be kind of cool because I just hopped out of the shower actually, and I didn't really feel like getting dressed. So I'm like, let me just throw this on. This is just something. Breezy, easy breezy. So did that and wasn't gonna do my hair or anything. So I actually got a haircut. I haven't talked about this. I got a haircut recently. I don't know what you consider recently, but I got a haircut probably by the time this comes out, this episode, it'll probably be about 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks ago. I want to say, yeah, it might be 2.5 weeks. I had got it on a Saturday, early Saturday morning. As you know, I haven't really been going anywhere, whatever. And I was a little skeptical at first. Let me go get a haircut. But luckily, I was the first one in there in the building. First one in the building, stepping in, you know what I'm saying? That VIP service. No. I had actually called the day before, and I wasn't sure if they were just doing like appointments or if you had a book and all that. So I wanted to check, and they were like, no, you could just walk in. So I was like, okay. And it was like maybe an hour almost to closing time when I called. And then also I was planning on working out that day. So I was like, I'm not going to be able to make it. So let me just see about the next day. So I asked what time they opened, and they were like 9 o'clock, but it was a Saturday. And I'm like, damn, it's probably going to be filled, packed with people 9 o'clock Saturday. Let me go check. So I had woke up pretty early that Saturday, and I headed to the barbershop, and I went into the park. I actually parked the car, got in the parking lot, parked the car, walked up to the door, and the door was still locked. And it was like maybe 7 minutes to 9, 8 minutes to 9, like a little less than 10 minutes to 9. So I was like, oh, let me just check to see if it's open so I can make sure I'm like one of the first and all. Wasn't open. It was still locked, the door. So I headed back into the car. Move the car up a little closer though, so I could see exactly the door to see if someone's opening the door or who gets there first. So I'm sitting in the car for a little bit, and then they showed up a little bit past 9 o'clock. But as soon as I seen the guy had opened the door, went inside, then he was pulling out one of the flags. You know how they have the flags, like the open barbershop or open flag. He was putting one of those out, and I was like, oh, okay, let me get out the car. So as I was getting out the car, he was done putting the flag out, and we were both walking in pretty much at the same time. And that was luckily that was the guy that normally cuts my hair, the barber that was like normally cuts my hair. So I was like, oh, perfect. So he seen me and everything, recognized me, and I was like, oh, good, because I haven't gone for a while. Besides the pandemic and that, he wasn't there the last time that I went either. He was on vacation like in New York or whatever, and I really wanted a haircut, and it was one other guy, and I was like, okay, whatever, and I just went for it, gave it a go. But it actually didn't come out that bad that time. But I liked how the guy that I've been going to for the longest now, cuts and everything. So I was like, oh, cool, he's here. So I ended up getting a haircut. Was not bad at all. Was the only one in the shop actually. Was the only one in there. He was cutting my hair, and there was another barber like starting to set up, but didn't have no client yet. And then they have a lady usually in there or someone else that will like run the cash register and stuff, and it will sweep up for everyone. So she was there, but she actually came with the barber that was cutting my hair. She actually came with him when they pulled up. So it wasn't that many people in there, and it was just him mostly, around me doing my hair. Anyways, got the haircut, but I wanted the top cut. See, for the longest, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my hair, actually. And I don't know if I had talked about it. I was like, maybe I should just go ahead and let it grow out again. And I was like, that's going to take forever. Like, I like the idea, but I don't feel like waiting for my hair to grow out that long. And if anything, I was going to go, decent long, like, length. So it was going to take me a little while, at least probably a year or so. It had only been a couple of months that already was quarantine. So I was like, okay, but I still had a long way to go. So I was like, that's going to take a little while. And the last time I had pretty long hair, if you guys don't remember, it was just the top and it wasn't the side. So I was like, okay, I'm going to outgrow it all. So it would be top and size long and not just the top that like, would wear into a top knot man bun or whatever. And I was like, I'm not trying to do that again, but I would want it, my hair pretty long. To like how I had it a while ago when I was younger, back in, what was it? Middle school, high school? It might have been like 8th grade, ninth grade. I don't exactly remember, but I used to have long hair. So I kind of wanted to do that again, and I was like, oh, that's gonna take forever. I'm not sure. And then after I just got frustrated to the point where I was like, no, I kind of just want a haircut. It was already at that stage where I would wear a hat and it was starting to like curl up in the back, so it was already at that like funky stage, and then overlapping the ears and stuff. So I was like, nah, I think I'm just gonna get it cut. So as I was there, I was like, yeah, cut the top, and then the sides. But I didn't realize how much I told on the cut on the top at first, and once it was good, like the first couple of snips, and I was like, oh, okay, not too bad. And then once I was really paying attention and looking after, I'm like, oh, this might be a little too short from my liking, or just as of right now. But I'm like, it's whatever, it'll grow back. It's just hair. So after it was all done, and I knew like pretty much that it was too short after when it was all done, and then he was styling a little bit with some product, walk out the chair. See, that's what I don't ever really understand. Like, I understand they want to show how good of a job they've done in that in the barbers, so they style you up before you go. But I'm like, don't waste your time, because I'm normally, well, not normally, all the time, I'm going straight home, getting in the shower so I can get all this hair off of me, and then I'll style my hair. Like, I don't understand how people can get a haircut and then do an activity after or go on about their day without getting in the shower and getting all that extra hair off and all in your ears and shit like that. Like, I have to go home and take a shower right away. I hope I don't have nothing else. Like, I won't plan anything after my haircut because I'm planning me getting in the shower to get all this hair off of me. So I don't understand how people could do that and just be itchy and like, ugh. I just feel disgusting. Like, I feel dirty even though it's just my hair on me. But at that point, I'm like, no, I need to get this off. I need to go home and get in the shower. Anyways, so that's at the point where I noticed like, oh, this might be shorter than what I wanted, but whatever. Like I said, it's just hair. So when I got home, got in the shower, that's when I really noticed. And then after, I'm like, yeah, this is kind of too short to where I like want it. And I didn't want to, like, if you guys have seen me before in certain pictures or whatever, if you actually go to my website, you'll see like some promo pictures that I use even for Spit It Out. Um, my hair, the way it would be styled would be up. So I would normally, like comb it up, maybe blow dry it or so a little, and have it kind of go into the right side at an angle up, whatever, like lift that hair up. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, I don't really know if I want to even wear my hair like that often anymore. I kind of just want to wear, like, I'll style it down or anything, comb it with my fingers and stuff like that. But just, to switch it up here and there, because I like switching up my hairstyles here and there, actually. And I'm not the type to be like, oh, I have to be stuck in this one certain hairstyle forever and ever. And I'm just like, oh, I'm kind of done with that. That's what I actually had before for the longest. Like, I had the top hair long, and I was wearing a man bun or whatever, and top knot, get my hair braided, just the top. And then I got it cut, and that's how I was wearing my hair styled for the longest now. And it's been a little while, maybe I'm going to say a year or so since all of that. And then after, during the pandemic, that's why I was like, no, I should just switch it up and change it. And the top length wasn't that bad. I just needed probably a little trim, and that was it. And I would have been set and good and be like, oh, okay. But ended up going a little too far, and yeah. Damn, I talked about my hair for a while. Anyways. Oh, excuse me. I feel like my mouth was getting all dry and all that. Like I said, I took a shower before this, so I was brushing my teeth, and after you're brushing your teeth, sometimes it feels like your mouth is still dry, like you got to build up your saliva back into your mouth because you done took it all out as you were refreshing your mouth. You know what I'm saying? That's how I kind of feel. So I'm over here sipping some water, and I should have got another water bottle before starting, but I should be okay. I wanted to also talk about, I had, so by the time this episode actually comes out, some things would already have to transpire and all that. Now, spoiler alert, like I normally would say, I don't, obviously, if you guys are just joining and you don't understand and you hear the beginning of the intro and it would say at one point, it says, and things are, I can't even think of my own freaking stuff and I wrote it all. It's live and things are going to get messy. Okay, so that's, yeah. It's live and things are going to get messy. It's messy and things are going to get live. No, it's live and things are going to get messy. Yeah. So I say that in the beginning of the intro. Well, I don't say it, but I had written it out. And you'll hear that in the beginning of the intro. So the whole concept of it being live, if you don't understand that part, it's not that it's live as you are listening. It's live in the sense that I don't edit things and chop things out. So as you can see and hear, when I'm talking, if come across and stumble across my words, make a mistake, a little fumble or two, I keep it in there and it's just live going. So that's why hence the name Spit It Out. So things you've been thinking but haven't been saying. So like it's spit it out. So just what comes across and that's it. That's in the sense of it being live, where it's not being edited or scripted or it is pre-recorded. But if that makes any sense. So just to clarify for you guys or the newcomers, new listeners, in case you didn't know. Oh no, this mesh is getting caught to this table, this like wood table part. In case you guys didn't know what the whole live aspect of what that was meaning. Now, as I was saying and getting all into that, I be so descriptive sometimes, specific, and sometimes I'm like, do I even need to get that much into detail, or do people even care? But I was saying in the sense of all of that because I am recording a little bit before, and I'm gonna be so busy. Finally, thankfully, seeing my sister after 3 years, so she's back in the U.S., and I'm gonna actually help her. Not so much with the moving part because she has movers to come and do all that stuff, but I'm going to go out there and help her and just get situated. And she got a house. So just get her settled in the house, help her out with a couple things here and there and a little bit of running around, whatever's needed, just to get her, going. But it brought me to think of me moving into places and the whole move-in process and all that and how it could be a headache or whatever. And I think I might have shared some stories in the past before, just like of the process, or maybe even talking about previous apartments and stuff like that that I've had. I'm not sure. Like, I'm trying to think, and I was trying to think back. And I'm like, have I ever talked about my experience or first apartment experience or anything like that, or just any? I can't remember. And I feel like I might have told one story beforehand, but I'm not exactly sure. So I was like, okay, I should talk about this stuff and just think about it. Now, obviously, a different. She's moving into a house, and I've been this. I think I might have said in the podcast. I've been thinking actually when I was younger and a couple years back, and so I was like, I wasn't really interested in purchasing a house. I was pretty content and all that, and I was like, oh, we'll just rent it off an apartment and all that. And now, as I'm getting older and all, and you look back to see how much money you spent and how much money I've spent in just the amount of months and years renting, and like, oh my goodness, that could have been, a down payment on this. I could have did that with this money or whatever. And I don't regret it. I don't regret it at all because it was my choice, and I wanted to be on my own and wanted to, have bills, I guess. Who wants to have bills? I did. So yeah, I don't, regret it, but just looking back, I was like, damn, all that money. So I've been thinking, I'm like, no, I think, yeah, I probably will want to get a house soon. And I was saying even as soon as like after this lease is up, which is next February, end of next February, yeah, 2021 or so. So even at that, I'm like, I would like to, but I don't know, maybe not that soon, maybe in another year after that or so. I'm looking at it too. I'm like, damn, I'm gonna be 28 this year, and I'm like, maybe it's about freaking time I go ahead and get a house, just something, because I feel like with a house, you could do what you own the house. You could do what you want more so in it, make repairs, do this, do that, change things out, and not have to worry about it. Unlike an a apartment or a condo or wherever that you're renting, wherever you're renting off of someone, you're more limited. You got to still follow by what they, what the contract, the lease says, and all that stuff. And you might be, only able to do certain things here and there. And I've always felt that I've never made the space completely my own, still figuring just how to live through the time being and like set it up. Like, I always feel like sometimes I half-ass set up things because I'm like, I know this is just temporary and I don't know how long I'm going to be here, so I don't want to invest too much into stuff when I know I'm going to be packing up and leaving maybe at the end of this lease, which could just be me being there just for a year or just 2 years, or like, oh, let me wait and see, let me try to settle in for a little bit, and then if I plan longer, then I'll start, accumulate some more things and purchase maybe bigger furniture or whatever items that, not so easily to be moving around with. I just, for some reason, I always think about that stuff. I always think about, because I'm never like planning out like, oh, okay, I'm gonna be here for this many years, for a couple while, and just pretty much go with the flow. If I feel like, what, it's my time's up here, this lease is gonna end in a couple of months or so, I'm ready to go, let me start looking for something different. I'm ready just to get up and move and find a new area, a new space. And I like doing that too. I would always check, well, like, we'll get into that, but I never wanted to purchase a lot of things and stuff because I always thought about the moving aspect and the moving part when it comes down to, and having to get all that stuff, and how am I going to move it? How am I going to take it from one place to another? If it's too much furniture, if it's too much furniture, if it's too much furniture and it's too big, then I'm like, damn, now I got to go ahead and rent a truck, rent a type of van or something, or look for help, assistance from someone to help me to take this stuff and move it from the next place to this place or whatever. And it just seems like a headache a lot. And I'm always thinking that far ahead, to the sense of like, do I want to put myself through all of that and, have to be moving everything? So then a lot of times I'll get, more affordable, cheaper things, a lot of DIY stuff that I'll do in that, which I enjoy also, but I feel because I don't have maybe so much an emotional connect to the item, because, well, I guess it could be even more emotional because like as a DIY, and they took time to actually put your own labor into it and make it personalized to you. But I don't know, I feel like, okay, it was nothing, I didn't spend money on it, so if I don't bring it with me, I don't bring it with me, if that makes any sense. But as now time's been going on that, I'm like, no, I would like to have my own space where like have a home and paint the walls and really set it up and get some nice furniture for it. And I feel like even having company over or entertaining people, hosting or whatever, it's just more comforting in a home than an apartment, a condo, a little space, whatever that you have, compared to having something your own and really, um, spicing it up, I guess you could say, but just making it personalized more to yourself and just, decorating things and all that. Cause I feel like with a house compared to an apartment, you decorate differently and it's just you have how does it? I can't even think of it. It's the options are endless, I guess you could say. If you have a house and you're decorating. Anyways, let's go to commercial. We'll be right back. That was the first 20 minutes so far. Don't forget youtube.com/Jayson Yessir, and you can see the video first 20 minutes. But otherwise, just stay tuned because the rest of the I can't talk. Why am I always messing up? It's late too, actually, that I'm doing this for you guys. It is pretty freaking late. And I'm like, let me just get this up. Not let me get it up, but let me get this recorded up because I'm not going to have time. I'm going to be so busy coming on up, and I really need to get this done. So I'm trying to be more efficient with my time and productive and just making sure that I have things right, down and good to go. So that way I don't come across any issues or last minute things that I will have to be doing, recorded the night before and stuff, because that could be a headache at times. But yeah, let's go to commercial. We'll be right back. Still going to get into more things. I'm going to go through my apartment history.